Alright, today we are going to look at folders and how they work on a computer. And you're actually looking right now at a folder. So this folder, um, you've probably seen it before, maybe didn't know it was a folder. This is called the desktop. No surprise, right? Uh, this folder right now contains all of this stuff. And these various buttons and whatnot are not just buttons, they're actually files or folders or links, okay? We'll talk about those more later, but for now, if you click on the folder icon down here in your toolbar, you're going to see what is called Windows Explorer, okay? You're exploring your folders, I guess. Um, in Windows Explorer, you're going to have a lot of different places that you can click on this left side. You're going to have the contents of the folder that you're looking at displayed in this main area, okay? Windows Explorer is very similar to a web browser. In fact, Internet Explorer and Windows Explorer are almost the same thing. Now, the only difference is instead of surfing the web, you are looking at the contents of your computer. So, if I click on desktop here, I will see all these same buttons, okay, that are on my desktop. So these are two different ways of looking at the desktop. But this really kind of proves that I'm not just making this up and that this is a folder, okay? Okay, so we know this is a folder, but what the heck is a folder? Okay, well, in real life, you would have a folder for maybe organizing your journal or something like that, right? You put contents and papers inside of them. Well, the analogy goes that a real life folder contains documents, and when they were coming up with how to organize a computer, they wanted to model it after maybe your desk. So they took, the same language we use to describe organizational tactics in real life and integrated those into how your computer is organized. So the fancy word for a folder, which this is a folder, this is a folder, this is a folder, this is a folder, that's not a folder, okay? The fancy word for a folder is called a directory, okay? When we think of the word directory, we might think of like the phone book, but in computer speak, a directory is a new, or it's a folder. Okay, I'm going to new folder in order to make a new folder, or if you want to call it a directory. Okay, why am I making a video about folders? Well, the issue is that if you don't know how to work with documents and folders on your computer, you're forever going to be struggling to turn anything in my class, save your work successfully, hopefully, or save that essay that you wrote and reliably be able to pull it up, turn it in, and get the good grade you deserve. Whereas if you lose it, it's like my dog ate my essay, but my dog lives in my computer and ate my essay or something. You lost it. So we need to be able to organize our files reliably. Okay, so to do that, we're going to make our own folders. Okay, so you're actually gonna have to practice this. We're gonna work through it together. Okay, but in case you're revisiting this or something like that, we're gonna do it together. So I want you to go ahead and click on this folder icon down here. Okay, And it's possible that your computer looks a little different than this. Maybe, okay? So maybe you don't have the folder icon, but trust me, you still have folders. If you want, you can find your start bar, okay? And you could find an area, and a line in here that says computer. Okay, when you click that, you open up what we're going to call the root directory. I'll talk about that later, but essentially you can see all these different disks. Okay, disks are storage devices that your computer has access to. All right, so one type of disk, the main type of disk that your computer stores things on, would be the hard disk. Okay, hard disk drive. So you probably have seen a hard drive at some point in your life. If not, I'll show one to you. Inside your computer, they look like this, and if you pull this metal lid back, they look like this. What's going on here is pretty complicated, but there's spinning disks, kind of like a CD, but it's made out of metal, and it can be rewritten a lot of times. So this arm here writes to it, and there's a lot to it. We could really get into it, and we would never get to our folder lesson. So essentially, this stores files on your computer. So this is inside your computer spinning away right now. To access it, you can choose which of the hard disk drives you would like to access. So my computer has a C drive and a D drive. The C drive is your standard. That's every computer that's running Windows. So Macintosh, this doesn't apply. If you have an Apple computer, it's not going to be named C, but the C drive is your standard drive. This is where all the stuff on your computer is normally stored. Okay, that means all these programs, such as Photoshop. Photoshop is stored on my C drive. Okay, it's stored on that spinning disk. And if I go to my C drive and go dig through it, I can find Photoshop, the files where Photoshop is installed, okay? What this means for us is that we know normally on your computer, like maybe at home, or if you have a laptop or something like that, you can store things on the C drive. That's just like the normal way to go about it. Okay, now for us here at Alvin High School, in this computer lab, what they don't want is any geniuses, okay, coming in here and messing up the installation of all these programs. So, I mean, I don't know about your classmates, but it's likely that someone would think it was hilarious if they just deleted Photoshop and then you couldn't do your project because the guy that sat at the computer before you was laughing really hard while he deleted all the programs you need to work. Not really that funny, but trust me, it would happen if we didn't have this kind of locked up. So you guys cannot modify much on your C drive. You can't really store stuff there. You're not able to work with it like you are with a normal computer, like one that you own, that you've set up from day one. Okay, these are locked down. So what they do give you, luckily, is a U drive. Okay, this is for U. That's why it's named the U drive. Okay. Okay, this should be pretty easy to remember that the U drive is where you store your files while you're at Alvin High School. The cool part about the U drive is the U drive is actually not inside your computer. Okay, it is. Hang on. So it is not this inside your computer. Okay, it's not a normal hard disk drive. Okay, it is called a network location. So long story short, it is stored on another computer somewhere in the district. Okay, that other computer is called a server. We'll talk about those later, but the point is, if you log in on another computer somewhere else on campus, your U drive is going to follow you there. Okay, so you're going to have this U drive for storing files across all the computers on campus. So when you store a file here and you log in at another computer, you're going to have all your files. So this is the place for you to store files. Okay, so to make a folder so that we can kind of get an action item done on this tutorial, we're going to double click on the U drive. Okay, now you're inside the U drive. Yours may look different. Okay, it could look like this, where you have bigger icons, or it could be a detailed list like this. Okay, I don't care what it looks like right now. What I want you to do is right click. That's the right button on your mouse, okay? And scroll down to New and just hover over that and go over to Folder, okay? When you click this, you get this folder that pops up with this blue area that is highlighted, okay? It's waiting for you to type in a name. You have to name your folder so that you can never find it again, okay? So we're gonna name it Test Folder, okay? We're learning how to make folders here, and we're just making a test one, okay? Double click on Test Folder after you've hit, type in your name and hit enter, and then double click on it, and you'll be inside of that folder, okay? Now you may notice that at the top of your screen, or top of your Windows Explorer window, you've got Computer, your name, and Test Folder. So this tells you where you are on your computer, okay? You're on your computer. You're in the U drive, okay, which is the drive where you're going to save your stuff. And you're inside of the test folder. So if you think about the test folder being a folder on your desk, you have now opened the test folder and can put things inside of this folder if you need to, okay? This area is called the address bar, okay? The address bar is just like the address bar when you use a web browser, okay? I'm looking at this little kitten or whatever, and it's Kitten Lady, okay? This is Kitten Lady's site, kittenlady.org. It tells me where I am in the address bar. This tells me I'm in test folder, okay? So, today, you learned what folders are, what they look like, and how to make one. And a little bit of how to navigate them. But we're going to do more navigation and advanced folder organization in the next video.